Morning of good young grasshoppers. This is Corinne with another video, and today I wanted to talk about people pleasing, but I wanted to dig a little bit deeper. In the first video, I discussed people pleasing from a perspective of truly just having a compassionate heart and really just wanting to serve others and sometimes spreading yourself too thin. In this video, I wanted to discuss people pleasing from a different perspective, from a perspective of hurt. And what I mean by that is a lot of times we experience things from our past that we may have not processed or healed from, and because of that, those things may fester and resurface in different ways externally. In some cases, specifically this one, I am talking about people pleasing. Now, there are other things that could cause this to happen, but from my experiences, I'm mainly going to be talking about unresolved issues from feeling abandoned and feeling rejected. So I had abandonment issues a lot growing up. I did grow up with a loving family. I love my mom and her family, but I still had abandonment issues because my biological father was not in the picture. And when he was in the picture, it was extremely toxic. And so I had struggles with people walking out of my life. My ex-stepdad also was not there for a period of my life, and I was hurt by that as well. So I had abandonment issues, and because of that, I was scared of people walking away. Because I was so scared of people walking away and I wanted to prevent that as much as possible, I felt like I needed to do whatever I could in order to get them to stay. A lot of times that involved people pleasing. And most of the time, it involved me going against my morals and going against what God has called me to do in order to keep them in my life. I learned to, in a sense, buy my relationships. So a lot of times I would spend way more money than needed, or even more money that I really shouldn't have spent at all. I would also try to buy gifts, just be extremely generous. I would go out of my way. I would literally stress myself so much going out of my way to help them. And it really just ended up putting me through a lot because I was exerting so much energy into making sure people stayed in my life, whether they were the right people or not. So people pleasing was a really big part of my life, and my mom and multiple people in my life have told me not everyone is your friend. And I just didn't understand that because I felt like everyone who came into my life was supposed to stay a part of my life. So I needed to do whatever I needed to do in order to keep them from walking away. The other big issue that I had was self-rejection. When it comes to self-rejection, I've mentioned this before. I kind of learned self-rejection from specific treatment that I got from certain people growing up, and I didn't understand what was really going on or how that was festering in my life. And self-rejection really led me to start looking for validation and approval in other people. So not only was the abandonment issues causing me to do whatever I could to keep them in my life, the self-rejection issues were causing me to seek validation and approval from wherever I could get it. And that meant going beyond what was asked of me, going beyond what was needed of me in order to gain approval from those people. And then sometimes it wasn't necessarily doing it for other people, but really even just proving it to myself, in a sense, pleasing other people pleasing and pleasing myself. So I wanted to make people proud to be a part of my life or have me a part of their life. And that would be me not necessarily doing favors for them, but me pushing myself to make me feel like, I guess you could say, a trophy friend. So I would always push myself in high school. I was in several clubs. I did 3 sports year round. I was the first Black female to graduate with an ACE diploma. I did all these different things because I felt like I needed to gain approval in order to be accepted by my friends. And really, I was just looking for acceptance in the wrong places, and I was putting myself through a lot of foolishness, really trying to keep people in my life and keep them from walking away by doing whatever I needed to people please. So people pleasing, when you are struggling with people pleasing, or you don't even realize that it's people pleasing, a lot of times you really want to ask God why you're trying to go to these extents and to these depths to please this person or these people. Why is it that you feel the need to prevent them from walking away by doing all these favors and to seek their approval instead of seeking God's approval? So you really want to self-reflect. It causes a lot of self-reflection, and it's not an overnight process as far as overcoming that, because I still struggle with it to this day. But because of everything that I talked about in the first video, and especially because I've learned to really have boundaries and to set time aside for me to really be able to process myself and my actions, and whether or not my actions are reflecting me seeking approval from people or me seeking approval from God, that has allowed me to constantly assess and reassess my motives so I can be able to make sure that I am pleasing God and not man. So I really hope that you guys got something out of this video. This is really just my experiences. I feel as though God has given me these experiences in order to share them so I can be able to help someone else or give someone a different perspective. And so if you have any comments, questions, concerns, suggestions, let me know. If you have anything else or any other ways that you feel people pleasing can come about, whether aside from feelings of abandonment and from rejection, then let me know those two and show me your perspective. Other than that, keep shining, keep smiling, and people please. Stop people pleasing. Love you guys. Bye.